we bet that most of you have complained about something in your childhood, but those things you have complained of are not compared with the problems that children that are being abused have. Child abuse is one of the strongest problems nowadays, and so we will show you through this presentation the problem and its possible solutions.
But first, how do we know that this problem exists? Basically, you just got to look around wherever you go, in traffic lights or outside grocery stores. You will see kids asking for money or doing something just to be paid for. Some of these cases, they do that by their own will, but some cases, they're forced.
There are three main types of child abuse here in Mexico. The first one is physical abuse. And the physical abuse is it's the most times given inside families when the father or the mother are, I don't know, high or they're drunk and they start hitting their son because the son start crying or something. There's also the exploitation. The exploitation is given in a lot of cases here in Mexico, like my partner Asad said, when the kid is forced to do something, to sell something or to beg for money. There's also the sexual abuse. The sexual abuse is given here in Mexico most of the times inside families, between a father that rapes his daughter, or his son, or a mother that rapes his son or daughter, and uncles that rape nephews. The main causes because of child abuse is bad parenting. And what's the main cause of bad parenting? The abuse of drugs and the abuse of alcohol. The abuse of drugs and the abuse of alcohol is the main problem in our society. The abuse of drugs and alcohol has all these consequences, like the poverty, because of the parents spend all their money, all their time on drugs and on alcohol. They start being poor, so they cannot buy a good education. They cannot buy the essentials for a living, like food or education, a good school or public school. They just don't have money to sustain a living.
Therefore, if this problem continues, the effects on the children will affect their lives. Kids, if kids grow up being abused, they will have like problems in their adulthood, because this problem affects their mental health when they were children. Problems like violence, poverty, and insecurity will increase too. And also another effect will be that if this problem continues, it will create a vicious circle. This means that the kids that are being abused right now, in the future, probably in the future, they will do the same with their own kids.
The solutions. We found that the one possible solution that is not like being used now, it's that to let kids know what their rights are, because so a kid can identify when he's abused with whatever type of abuse they're being abused. They should know when they're abused, so they can complain to the authorities. They can do something about it so they stop being abused. And another one is to make sure that cases of abuse are not dismissed, because there are so many types of abuse that are being dismissed by the law. We got to make sure that the law punishes whatever type of abuse that is being that's doing. That's being.
To end up, child abuse has always been a problem. It always has existed. So by applying this solution, we can make a better place for the kids to live. So if you see somebody, you can quickly report it to the authorities to make this huge change in the way of life in children.